Hey guys, just finished watching Gotham, Season 5, Episode 4, A Legend of the Dark Knight, Ruined. What an interesting episode. This one was really kind of interesting, dealing with the fallout of the last episode where the Green Zone was blown up and dealing with the mystery of who blew it up and all that stuff. And it really was a great reveal, finding out who it was. We start off this episode with Penguin. He kind of jumps in and really he gives Jim some guns to help find the bomber, since he lost some people too, and I kind of find that interesting that he's kind of wasting bullets on that, but he ends up helping Jim out, and then we see that Alfred ends up finding Bruce. He obviously lets Bruce free and stuff, and they go to find Selina, and they end up finding Penguin, and Jim end up finding Zsasz, but it turns out he's not really the bomber. Lucius ends up getting help from Riddler to go over the crime scene and go through the crime scene and stuff, figure out what the bombing was. And he figures it out pretty fast. We see Jeremiah's finally back. And then we find the bomber use a rocket launcher. We find out that it was the Riddler who was the bomber. And I think that was kind of an interesting twist. I kind of like that, the way things are going with that. I think that was really cool. I didn't see that one coming. How messed up he was, I didn't really see that. So I think that was really cool. I like that kind of twist there. It was really interesting. Now, Jeremiah being back, I was excited to see him back. And they straight up just kill him off right away. And it's like... And it looks like, based on the trailer for the next episode, he's going to stay dead. What? This show, oh my god, it just pisses me off. Like, they had a great, they had the Joker storyline they've been doing with Jeremiah and Jerome, and it's like, oh, it just drives me fucking crazy. Like, just do it properly. Like, keep him on the show. You have Joker, you leave him on the show. It just pisses me off that, that this actor, they got him for the show and that he's busy doing another show, and it's like, can he just quit that other show and do this full time and be in every single episode all the time for this show? Because this is really good. Like, to me, I'm not much of an actor or anything, like, not an actor at all. So, to me, watching him and acting, it seems like he's having more fun as Joker than he would on Shameless. Now, I have watched Shameless, watched like a few seasons of it on Netflix and stuff. It's a good show and stuff, but he's much better as the Joker. So it just gets me so frustrated that they have the Joker here and they built him all up. He's the guy who started this season, blew all of Gotham up, turned it into the Dead Man's Land, and yet we're only seeing him once in episode 4 of the last season, and he gets killed off, and it looks like we just see him. That's it in the next season, in the next episode. So who knows? Maybe they could bring him back, but it just pisses me off that we have to wait till episode 4 to see him. Maybe episode 3, I understand, but it's just I'd like to see him a little bit more, and he can't be dead. We've gone through too much and stuff with him, and you have to end it. The whole thing is that they're going to have the so-called, it's going to be some sort of time jump. There's been rumors and talks, and sounds like we're going to get a time jump for like the last episode or something, so that we get to see the Batman and stuff. So I'm hoping that we get some sort of time jump, maybe before last episode, and then the last episode can be an entirely time jump episode where we get a full Batman episode, rather than the last scene of the last episode being him putting on the cowl. Hopefully get a bit more than Smallville type thing where he ripped open his chest and he had to CGI a suit on, and Tom Welling refused to put the suit on. I don't think there's anything like that. I don't think we've ever had anything with him not wanting to put on the cowl or anything like that. But I'd like to see a full episode of him as the Batman. I think that could be really cool, where you get a flash forward and he puts the Bat costume on pretty soon, and at the end of the episode, the last words he says, "I'm Batman," right? So we don't get him named Batman, but he's pretty much looks like Batman and everything. And hopefully, if we get a flash forward, we can also have him, have the Batmobile, have all the cool gadgets, and really it would be cool. And you need the Joker to do that. And I think that's that's really the way the way they should do it. And I just pisses me off with the whole Jerome stuff, because it was just so sudden. It's kind of like, he's not going to be dead, and if he is dead, that just pisses me off and doesn't do anything. It wasn't even a good oh cool. It wasn't like there's no emotional weight behind Selina stabbing him. It's like, yeah, he gets it, because we haven't, she got shot and that's it. We haven't got, we we need to play in that. We need to stew in that. The fighting between Selena and Jeremiah, Selena and the Harley Quinn character. Now she got the whole costume and stuff from the Harley Quinn character, but we don't know how she got that. She wasn't able to feed her in the last episode super easily. So, they built up this Harley Quinn-like character to being somewhat of a formidable-ish foe. So I can't believe that Selena just waited and until she walked around the corner and bopped her in the head with a stick or something, or a pipe. I feel like she would have put up a bit more of a fight, that we should have seen how Selena got her costume, got the mask, and all that stuff. It didn't look like they were handing them out, and it looks like only, especially in that place where they're digging that hole, looked like Harley Quinn character is only the one with that mask. So it doesn't seem like they're just lying around there. And if she did take it from her, we need to have seen that. It feels like it was a cut scene for time, which is annoying because last season they should just let everything go and not intercut anything, just put everything in it. But oh well. So we find out the bomber is a rocket launcher, so that was kind of interesting. And then the reveal that Penguin, that Riddler was the one, I think that was kind of interesting. Like I said, that was kind of really fun, for cool twist and stuff, playing with that. I think it's kind of cool, because his storyline so far in this season has just been, we're only episode 4, but I think 4 of 10 maybe. Let's check this out on IMDb. 4 of 12. So yeah, it's a little bit different than 4 of 20, so I think that's going to be interesting to see as to where things go, how that is starting to kind of weave in, and the Riddler storyline starting to kind of make sense. Before, at the beginning of the season, the Riddler storyline was just kind of repetitive of the same stuff, just kind of the two fighting inside each other, which was kind of interesting back when in the first season, when it was new, when it was fresh, and he was working for the GCPD, so he had this criminal side of him, yet he was working for the police, right? That's really cool twist, cool tension to play with. Whereas here, we've been playing with him as having the two sides fighting for a while. And here now it's kind of involving everyone. I think that's really cool, dealing with that and seeing as to how things are going to go is going to be quite interesting to see. But I need to start seeing a bit more other characters. Apparently Mr. Freeze has a section of Gotham that he's running. We haven't seen anything of that. Like I said, like I've been saying, Poison Ivy is a very underwhelmed character for this show. So they're terrible. They're just kind of terrible the ways they use her. They could use her as a bigger character, and she could be a character. She's a character who's able to take over Gotham all by herself. By using the plant life. By she can use her powers to grow food, and then have a corner of the market on food. And then owning tons of people, an army of people, just because she can make food grow. I think that would be something interesting. Or she could even kind of make vines grow across the water and just make herself be able to walk across, right? Make some lily pads or something like that, some sort of weeds grow up in the water and make herself be able to just walk across. That would be something she should be able to do. So she's kind of a very underwhelmed character for this show, but I don't see them at this point in the show, last season, doing anything different, changing her up at all. But we'll have to wait and see. So we see Jim ends up having to let Zsasz go, and that was an interesting scene where he was kind of trying to, he's like, Harvey, give your gun to him so that, we can have a shoot-off type thing, and I can kill him, right? And kill him, not, rightfully kill him, right? And I think that's an interesting idea, that has that line. You can see where where they're playing with this, and, they're playing with this idea that Jim is not willing to cross that line. But I feel like this version of Jim, if he was on something, if he met a person like Frank Castle, like the Punisher, he would just let it happen. He is not. I kind of like that, how he's been worn down to the point where he's so raw that he's not willing to go over that. He hasn't become the Punisher yet, but he's just like, if there was a vigilante going around killing people, he wouldn't really care. And I think that's a really interesting idea. And if they kind of start off with the Batman killing people, I think that could be something interesting, because if I'm not mistaken, in the very first appearance of Batman in Detective Comics number 27, Batman literally punches a guy. He punches a guy, and then the guy falls overboard, and then it's a passenger, like they're on a boat or something. He punches a guy, and the guy falls overboard, and someone says, "You just punched him, and he just, he's dead. He's just fell to his death now." And then Batman says, "Fitting end to his kind." And that's like a direct quote from the first appearance of Batman, written by Bill Finger and drawn by Bob Kane. So I think that's really, I think that'd be a cool thing to see with Batman, Whereas to fix the No Man's Land, Bruce Wayne has to go to the point where not necessarily killing, but he doesn't care about what happens. So if he's jumping off a roof and lands on someone and it cripples them, oh well, who cares, right? That's just what it has to be. There's no other way because people don't change, right? And Gotham is such a dark place, right? He doesn't have time to worry about, if he just kind of crippled this guy or if he put him into a coma or anything like that, right? I think that's really cool things to see. So we see Selena then, later on stabs Jeremiah. And again, like I said, that was just kind of disappointing. And just the weight was kind of nowhere to that because it's just like, oh my God, we get to see Jeremiah back. And then, what? He's dead? Like, it's just kind of, there was no real, the weight behind that was completely lost. So if that is real or something like that, then that's going to be retarded. But it's just kind of silly. I don't like is where things are going with that. So, and then we see in the episode with Jim and Barbara kind of hooking up, and which is like, I get the way they're doing and stuff, but to me it doesn't look like that they're trying to like get together again. It's just like they're probably both really just need they haven't been hooking up with anyone for the past 84 days, probably 100 days now. Not sure, they didn't say how many timeline to how many days and stuff, but they probably haven't hooked up with anyone. I mean, Barbara's probably has hooked up since Tabitha died, so maybe a few days, and Jim's definitely not, hasn't been sleeping with anyone, so it's just a random fling. But I think I like the idea of building it back up to eventually having back for them maybe getting Batwoman. I think it could be an interesting idea, but I just don't know how do you ever redeem yourself from that. I don't really like redeem yourself from all the stuff that Barbara Keane's done. It's just kind of a bit much. That even if it sounds like it's almost to the point where they probably wouldn't tell Barbara Gordon, their daughter, and then she would find out as Oracle, and that would just kind of ruin everything and ruin their entire relationship, and kind of things would just kind of fall apart. So I think that could be an interesting story that they probably won't play with because Barbara Gordon is so far in the future. But I think that's just kind of interesting there as to seeing them hooking up, see what that means. But for me right now, it's just kind of just a fling, just because things are such a disaster that they both have basic human needs, basic animalistic needs, right? That they just kind of need to be fixed, and especially for Jim, since he's just kind of hasn't been with anyone in a long time, probably since who would be the last person would have been, maybe I can't forget. No, it would have been. I can't think of her name. Sophia Falcone would have been the last time he hooked up with someone. So it's been a while. I'm sure he's it's just a hookup, just a fling, right? So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go with all this. Like I said, I'm really getting pissed off with the Jeremiah storyline. It's just like, why? It's like there's no weight to it, but I'll have to wait and see as to where things go and how things turn out. So let me know what you think, guys, about all this in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.